Nice to meet you.
Let me
Hi.
repeat that. So hey, what happened, man? You shaved.
Yeah, my wife told me enough is enough.
Dude, I was
Lovely
missing
to
your.
meet you.
It's like he got like that big mustache and beard, and now it's like all clean shaven. I was like, what happened, dude?
She told she told me, you want me to continue traveling with you? Remove your beard.
Oh yeah, that's what Anna said.
Because we were moving from Amsterdam to Geneva like in the last 2 days. Now I'm in Geneva.
I
So I
see.
was like, I will not leave the house from Amsterdam with you like this. No, I'm like, okay, actually.
All right, ultimatum.
I,
All right.
I
Yeah,
miss it.
I know, man. You feeling cold yet here?
Yeah, it's very cold. Like even right now, I'm sitting outside in Geneva. It's not cold.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe since this is the first time the both of you meet each other, Suhei and Lorna, you introduce yourself. Lorna, maybe introduce yourself first, and then like Suhei can introduce himself after that.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So I was a reporter, journalist for 14 years, working with some of the biggest news organizations in the world, in Europe and in Asia. I got involved in blockchain in 2015. Subsequently, I've worked with multiple different companies. I've worked with Bitcoin mining companies. I've worked with layer ones, Web3 companies, like every different project under the sun I've usually worked with. Actually, globally, in the States, in Europe, and most recently in the Middle East. So I've been in and out of the Middle East since 2021. I'm working with a mix of layer one projects, funds, up to $250 million, helping companies grow. So advising them and helping them working with their communication, whether that be to investors or press or customers, and helping them create teams to grow teams. And on the flip side, I'm working positioning companies, helping them raise. So for one company at the moment, I'm working with, well, in talks to work with one of the largest Web3 accelerators, raising 50 million out of Saudi. So I'm helping them with strategic partnerships, helping them with their message to basically attract investors.
Cool. Suhei?
In short.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Where are you like?
But going, sorry, let me just finish. But going, where I'm based, I'm a little bit somewhat like Gary, but not more. I mean, I've been in and out. Like I say, I was in Dubai for 2 years, but I came out of Dubai in July, came to London for a few months. And I've been London and Turkey and Bodrum because the Turkish ecosystem really fascinates me. I'm in London right now, and I'll be going back to the Middle East within the next week. So I'm keeping around the side. I've been to the States a few times this year for work, but I live on a plane. So
Yeah, but anyways, Gary doesn't bring other people than that like him. We're all in the same car. We all live on the road.
I'm not in a car. I'm in a hotel, but I do have a slightly
I'm
get up and go freedom lifestyle.
we say in Arabic, one day onion, one day honey.
All right. Suhei, the new Suhei, introduce yourself.
Yeah, but then you still have the same historical of past festival of the old Suhail. Didn't change anything. But we can't cut your roots apparently. So I'm from Jerusalem. I grew up in Jerusalem, and then I ran away from there when I finished it was high school. I've been my corporate traditional lifestyle was in hospitality, real estate development, business development, marketing, and sales. And then I got into blockchain. I was into blockchain as just a learner from the early 2015, 16. But then I became active in community growth and community engagement and helping startups and accelerators connect. And I organize many events, hackathons, hackers houses. I'm core team in two different communities, one that I initiated and the other that I just joined. And of course, at TrueSide DAO, I've been now very active since April.
Yeah.
What I love to do is take advantage of my business and technological skills to develop projects that do bring social impact more than just making money and generate profits and net revenue. And I live in Europe for now, on the road managing communities, working on many startups. One that I initiated myself 7 years ago, and others that I just help and connect with any resources that are required, and bootstrapping the agroverse sales and marketing operations.
Cool,
Okay,
perfect.
great.
All right. So today, yeah.
No,
Lorna,
go
you
ahead,
have-
Gary. Go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
So today's agenda, like Lorna, as we like know, has like experience of like PR and like media. So she actually wants to like talk us through like some aspects of that in terms of like framework, process, and like strategy. And then like while we kind of like executing on like what we are doing now, like we can like keep in mind like some of the top level principles that she's going to present to us, so that when we like start interfacing that part right into the overall execution, the integration is like smooth. Even though maybe not, we are not executing on that yet, at least like keep a space there so that when the interfacing comes, right, we are kind of like the onboarding is like smooth. Yeah. Okay. With
Yeah,
that,
I mean, I would like to like ask you, obviously you're like you're saying you're running the marketing kind of operations for Agriverse at the moment. I wondered what is that entailing? So you're managing the social platforms, right? The Instagram, I'm guessing you guys have got a Facebook, etc., maybe even YouTube. What else are you managing as a part of the marketing? And have you developed like a 3-month marketing strategy?
So at the current state, the word manage, the terminology managing is too big, because all like we are literally bootstrapping execution on one-man show basis in terms of these aspects and what touches marketing and social. For now, it's they're like it's just me trying to bootstrap the organic push of first focusing from the channel Instagram and LinkedIn, pushing by LinkedIn with the strategies of participating offline or being in direct groups or P2P. It's more like how we see ear to mouth to ear for now, with a slight execution plan that just I started like last week. So, and it's more or less it's a pilot and a testing era, not a full execution mode, with the hope and desire of onboarding more teammates to execute any strategies that we put for the long term. In terms of the pure beginning strategy, it was like very simple, that we are beginning into telling our story, exposure, start inviting troops. I mean, that is people that not just come by our back, no, just come, this is who we are, that's why we are, join. And like it's a very pure organic offline / a little bit of online community building.
Yes, okay, perfect. Excuse me, thank you. I understand about the bootstrapping. Gary and I have been kind of back and forth for like a week or so on this. My main point is, Gary asked me with regards to PR, or any type of comms, whether it be investor focused, media focused, or general messaging in the story, and everything for customers, how to determine the ROI, right? And how is it, how do you make it, quantitative? Like, X amount of this equals this. It's very hard. And it's very, very hard. And the same goes for marketing. PR marketing is, you cannot say, you can buy ads, for example, on LinkedIn. And I can be like, oh, I'm buying X amount of ads. This is going to get me this amount of reach, right? It's very hard with anything organic, right? But it doesn't work like that. But for me, from my experience with companies, and I've worked with companies who've gone on to raise 310 million, and really we didn't even have a deck, and we had like a vision, and I saw the vision. So it's about getting the messaging right, and I feel like that's what's potentially needed here. I feel like you guys need like some kind of, I don't even know if it's 6 months, I would say a 3-month strategy of getting the story out. People buy into people, right? People buy into people that are behind something, right? So we want the kind of the story, and we want to know how we're going to get it out. So is that press? Is that you're, and what market are you targeting? Is it global? digital, whatever. So which of the outlets? So this is how I would approach it. What is needed? The social obviously comes into the whole thing. I mean, you guys have got 26 followers on Instagram. I'm pretty sure some of them are your friends. I have, I don't know, 33,000. I don't use it, but I've worked with friends who have now got 2.4 million, 7 million, whatever. It's actually not very hard to grow Instagram. It's a formula. It's about regular posting, hashtags, getting people to repost, getting communities and that kind of stuff. And so I just feel like to continue spreading word of mouth on a, kind of person to person basis, not even low budget, bootstrap, I suppose, it doesn't really get you that far. It might get you some extra sales, but not everybody's going to know about you, right? If you're telling people in a village about a company, it's not really going to get very far. I think that you need certain strategies in place to get that awareness. Gary mentioned that you would be looking potentially for investment. And he was like, do you know investors that would potentially invest? And I said, well, to be honest, I think you're going to need a lot of work before you get to that point that it's a valuable proposition for an investor. So, I would do it, and I would make you guys really stand out and to be like the world's leading, world first. And that's kind of just going to get you attention from the investor side of things, from customers. You can use that to leverage for anything you need for community building, speaking engagements, and all this. But it's very hard to quantify to say, hey, 2 months of PR equals 300 grand return on investment or X amount of sales. It's impossible to do that. But as long as you're aligned on the objectives, who you're targeting, then you actually can achieve a lot. I've seen it achieve great things. But the biggest problem I have is when I'm working with a company and they're like, we want PR. And I'm like, okay, cool. Where do you want to target? This is what I suggest. What region is it you're targeting? Who is it you're targeting? Is it tech? Is it investor? Is it, what kind of press is it that you're targeting? And how are you going to use that to leverage it? Once you've got the press, you need to, an interview in Bloomberg isn't necessarily going to result in a massive, unless you leverage that. You share that, you share it with your communities, you use it to leverage, meetings with investors, and, this kind of stuff. There are certain second steps that need to happen. But without marketing, without press, people are not going to hear about you guys, ultimately, right? So it's a chicken and egg situation.
Okay.
But I would like to see your social. I mean, really, to get any kind of traction, you need 100x on what you're on at the moment. The engagement support, you've got two likes.
We need to differentiate something. I talking according to my experience, that is both corporate and non-corporate. And I do have some successful results in the corporate world, traditional Web 2 startups, and in the community-based non-profit, which is more now in the Web 3, but I also did it in non-technological community-related.
Yeah.
There's a difference between building social marketing strategies for a business product to push sales and only sales and pushing sales, and between building a community. Building a community, it means that it's not from one message or two messages that you will be able to understand which human in front of you do belong to you as values, as joining the community, not just buying this bag. Like, there is zero hope of making sales at day one. And Gary can witness how many times I used to tell him in the past that the Instagram post, one or two, will not generate, specifically not organically. And even if we do pay campaign and we do bring paid traffic, this traffic will be just about showing numbers and statistics, which is usually good in pure business strategies and pure sales strategies. But I can tell you that from experience, where it took me literally 2 years of being highly engaged to be able to build a community of Today, we are 1,850 members all over Europe. We are becoming the biggest offline community. Why? Because we did not focus on just being online and collecting the massa of the online. We focused about really onboarding members that do come to our physical events, do contribute back, and do give more than just buy a product or buy a service. And at the end, it's true that at Agro, we are in the middle dilemma that, we are in the same time, we want to sell a product, but then comes the corporate experience, the 80-20 rule, that if you work on building your 20% of your customers, it will bring you 80% of your revenue. And the 20% of your customers, it's usually in the corporate world, investors don't like to do it because it means burning more money, where you have a head over cost. In our case, we don't, and that's why it's mostly a one-man show. We are a community, and we are calling the people that, you want to put hands and execute with us, come, but we will not be hiring salaries, having costs. Like, we don't want to go fundraise $200,000 from someone to come pay salaries, for example.
We'll fundraise $10.
Yes.
We'll fundraise 400. Like Val, Val the other day paid 200, and I paid 100 yesterday. There's the fundraising like we happening every day.
It's riskier, but at the end, that's the target of what is True Side DAO from the philosophy of it. And that's why even going full, and you said you have only 26, but believe me, I'm an Arab. If I invite all my family and friends right now, I can have minimum 30K on Instagram.
Yeah, I look, I know. I worked with, I don't know if you, sorry, someone's calling me. I worked with Rihanna, the big singer, Rihanna. I worked with Taylor Swift. I've worked with Yahoo, and I worked with MTV to grow their following. So I was actually brought in to help with Rihanna get her initial following. I've trained, I've done huge campaigns with my friends have all got 7 million plus. I did one with Drake with them. I trained the media actually in Abu Dhabi on how to leverage their social media. I've done multiple talks on it. So I actually worked and grew the BBC's social media to 13 million. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to social. I personally am lazy with it myself. I can't be bothered. I just get, for me, my social is just my personal life, I'm verified 30. I don't care. I don't use it to monetize anything. It shows nothing for me. It's just there. But I know how. I know how to do it, and I know how to manipulate the algorithms. But you're right in saying that it's all about the online and the offline. I have friends with some of the largest people with the influencers, seriously. But I would not use them for certain campaigns because their audience is wrong. And and then I can look on Instagram and I can find people with 100K.
Yeah.
But I know that 95% of that is rubbish and it's bored. You know what I mean? It's all about having that actual real person. You're much better to have a community on social of 1,500, but actual loyal people than have 100,000 of people that are just don't care. So it is about that, but it's about having the strategy. It's about having the awareness. I can put out news on you guys, and we can get everywhere. We can measure the stats on it, of course. But it's really what you want, and I feel like you need I feel like you need awareness. People need to know about you guys, and that is not going to come from spreading it to each other. This is my point.
If I may propose something, what I can do, I can invite you to the Notion board where we are collaborating right now to build up the story. We are building up.
Okay.
I think that's good.
How we want to diffuse it in the next week, and the week after. The weeks after, and help us to literally fulfill all the structure for the next 3 months. And we will still be short-handed in terms of we don't have executioners, but meanwhile we do that, we will bootstrap and we will find other people who will help in execute. We will grow it in a step-by-step basis, because what I did the same, but just for the first potential pilot month. I literally did not fulfill the calendar more than that, because I don't need to plan for myself, because for now I'm alone, so I don't need to plan for myself. I just do it. So that's why I've been posting every day myself. I don't need to go write myself, but the plan is that people with your expertise, that have much more expertise in journalism, media, and telling stories, to come help us build up the proper content, the way to tell it, in which posts, stories, rails we want to execute it. You know, all these micro strategy needs for agroverse philosophy, true success philosophy, sales, community building, etc., etc.
By the way, there's no dig. I wasn't insulting you with 26 followers. I didn't mean it like that. But I didn't mean it like that. It was more of like I see the potential. I'm not being
takes it in the
offensive.
face, you know.
No, I really I thought after I said it, it wasn't a criticism. It was more saying that I see the potential. And actually just before this call, I was looking at other sites similar, but not really. But you know, a little bit. I'll share them with you, Gary, and how they're being very creative and how they're building their engagement, and the engagement's pretty high.
Okay.
I mentioned to Gary, I have someone I've worked with before. He's based in Arkansas. And I don't know about who's creating all your content written, whether that's blog format, whether that's being used for anything else. I have someone who, like I said, I've worked with him. His name is Dylan. He is probably the best writer I have come across.
Okay.
And, you know, and in terms of content for anything, and I don't know whether he would be of use, but he's literally one of the best writers I've come across in the industry of Web3 at all. So that's someone that I would keep in mind. Maybe for if there's built up a strategy for, like, you know, whether it's blogs, obviously putting out any press. He's someone I would use because he's amazing. He's very, very good. He is very creative, very knowledgeable. Yeah, just very, very good, very talented, very talented.
Amazing. That's the beauty of it. You see, it's about friend bringing a friend, and like just grow stuff like there. Listen, one of the most successful offline backed online campaign that I did is for a community of Nazareth, where Nazareth is a city where for the last decades is so like underserved, and it's a ghetto, even though it's a very important touristic city. So the locals were not benefiting from tourism at all, zero completely. So all I had is just to unite them under a front website and front Instagram page, and then instead of not spending money, because we didn't have any money to spend, so we just utilized the human power of the locals by them diffusing via their private. And there was a post that we reached almost like more than 50K pure organic, and for an event that people did attend physically. It's not just an online reach that had no result. It was a huge online reach that did bring us result on ground, which means it worked very well. And it was hard but easy. But the hardest part is to unite humans. But the moment they are united, it becomes easy to scale and flow it.
The ideology.
Yeah.
Just the ideology, you know.
For sure, I had to run behind 40, 50 human in our phones, WhatsApp, in order to make sure they all reply, post, comment. But it worked.
You know, the experiment that are like running over the past 3 days, like seems to be working, you know. All the video clips are like slowly coming in. So I'm waiting for your part, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like filming like Val at Edge and Note, who's like one of our supporters who like provided us with the venue. And I was like, and then I was like reading the script. I was like, and just one person reading the script is not interesting, you know? And then I was like, you know, Joseph Conrad like wrote the book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. I was like, thinking, can we shove like 1,000 faces in this 3-minute clip? Yeah. And then like now we have like around like 7 faces. Actually, like after this, I'll send you both like some like short like sentences you can recite and record and like send it to me. I'll like add it to the clip. Then we have more faces in the clip. I think that'd be wonderful.
So I mean, let's go with the strategizing for the next 3 months.
Yeah. Maybe Suheil, you want to like quickly walk us through the Notion board so that like Lorna like knows like how it's like set up. Then after that we can like invite her in to like have a look. I give you the ability to share the screen.
Yalla, one second.
Okay, perfect.
Like, it's very basic. The less is more. I always love the less is more, so I follow it in everything.
Yeah.
The basic structure plan that something for Lorna, it should be a piece of cake. Like even she should teach me how, because this is not my field of expertise.
It's okay. Dude, you shave your beard. You look like you're ready for corporate life again.
Well, I still need to rely on a couple of corporate projects to survive.
All right, all right.
So now you can no, it's still.
Ah, by the way, Karine introduced like someone that's moving to I think probably in Gaza or something like that. We're like trying to like follow up with her like on shipping the food over.
Well, today, this morning, for the first time, they allowed some trucks to enter from Egypt, but nothing.
Perfect.
I don't know, just 3-4 trucks maybe, or I don't know what.
Man, it's like hard, you know. It's like really, you think like shipping stuff into Gaza is easy, but I realized like no,
possible.
man, it's like not easy.
For now, they literally a law that if I am interacting with this aspect, I can go directly for 2 years without sending.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? I can't fight such a power.
Okay. Yeah, maybe walk us through like the next like 3-4 weeks, and then like maybe I think the low-hanging fruit, like Lorna can give us some pointers, and then like after this we can share her access to this, and then she can like go in and take a look at like the rest of it, like 2-3 months out and see what's up. Because like Lorna like planned out the schedule in terms of like the PR side.
Yeah, I did. I kept a loose schedule for 3 months really.
Yeah.
Really on how I would go. That was putting out quite a few different. I think it was 2 or 3 different announcements. But yeah.
Okay. But let's Suheil walk us through. Suheil.
Okay, my laptop is freezing. It's not moving anything. 1 second.
Okay, we wait.
You don't see my screen, right? Obviously.
I think you're almost out of battery, man. That's why.
That's maybe also why, but I can't go inside.
By the way, while we are like waiting, Brazil side, they are like processing their cacao nibs, because like Olantiudis already dropped it off to Milan on Tuesday. I think he's gonna pick it up on Monday or Tuesday and like drop it off like to the freighting company on Friday, and it should arrive like probably on Halloween. Dude, moment of truth, man. If we're gonna have problems with the customs, we're gonna like know it on Halloween itself.
Okay. 1 second, guy. I need to charge my laptop. Froze completely.
Yeah, no problem.
No worries.
On the balcony, look what a mess. Not lucky at all.
Yeah.
The door got stuck.
Yeah. Wait, you're not able to get in? You're stuck outside?
I got stuck. The door got stuck suddenly. I want to go inside, charge my laptop.
Wait, so you're stuck outside? You can't even go in?
My friend is getting me in.
All right.
1 second, I'll put my charger.
My side is buffering, guys, so I'm gonna turn off my screen if that's okay.
Okay, sure.
They're gonna listen. See if it helps.
Page. Put the charger. Should.
Is it loading? It's offline.
Yeah, I was saying offline. I was about to say it's saying offline. Maybe that's why.
Okay, let's try. Choose that down.
Okay.
Now you can see.
Yeah.
So this is the structure, the structure of the template that I organized for the purpose that we fulfill it together and develop it together.
Yeah.
And how I started already is just by structuring like some different themes of posts per week, and to make the whole division of how to disperse our story about us.
for example, for now, I started that every Monday we will post a clip or content that tells the story about us. Then on Wednesdays we will do a product promo. So this is just a structure that the idea is to fulfill it for a real serious plan of execution content to resume the story, the product promotion, the community building, the sales, the DAO philosophy, and all. So here you can see all like.
Cool.
So this is just a prototype that and this is the whole template. And this template is very simple and minimalistic, but very efficient. I used it in different other projects. With a solid team, we can literally manage all the social medias from cooperating on such a template in order to get out our story united.
Perfect.
This is so
Okay.
simple. It's like it's very
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's simple but comprehensive. I think my main point was to spend a bit of time and just knuckling down, homing in on that story and what you're about and who you are. You know, I feel like that can be improved a little bit. And I would suggest spending at least a week on that, really, because that's really the crux of it as well, right? People buy into the story, right? So when people go and buy an iPhone, they're kind of, you know, they know the person behind it. They know, you know, people are buying into that human element and that story. The story always sells. So I think that's really important. So I think I put in the plan, Gary, was to spend about a week on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important. There are so many companies I come across and they have no idea. They don't get the fundamentals. They don't get the fundamentals right. And then from there, you can do all the press or whatever you want, but they've never got the story right. Or they've never got it in a really sellable way that everybody understands, you know? I always say to people, whatever you're doing, you know, imagine that you're speaking to your aunt or your next door neighbor and you're explaining it, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
I got taught always to talk it to a 7-year-old.
Exactly, something like this. And you know, so many people don't listen to this. Maybe something super highly technical. One layer one I'm working with, it's super highly technical. And guys, I'm like, you're talking to the minority, the very small percentage here. It goes over everybody's head, and therefore you're not getting what you want. You know?
No, that's true.
You have to remember that not everybody has the knowledge that you have, right?
Yeah. Yesterday I kind of like tested that whole blockchain thingy. You know what? Guess what? It just fell flat on his face. Kaboom!
I see you challenging people like in the places where you're
Dude, it's like I try my stuff, right? Publicly just fail, and the report is like, okay, this like CTA doesn't work. Let's move on to the next one. Let's we all learn together. I think like at the end of the day, it's like about building like organization like knowledge, you know. Then like once we have like the organization knowledge like built in, like everyone can like function based off on that. And then like you know, we can like use that and really like iterate. Like next Thursday and Friday, we have another 2 like sponsorship events. Kinda. No, we're not like really running the events. We're just going there to put like the bucket of chocolate drink over there. So wait, hello?
yeah.
Right here? Yeah.
So I think the important thing is to like figure out like which particular angle the story resonates. It's like we can like use the activism like story. Like one is like, hey, farmers, and the other is like we can use like the shitty product story. It's like you guys like drinking like shitty chocolate. You actually have that like realize that you're drinking shitty chocolate. So it's like what I'm like starting to sense is like this 2 angle actually attract like it's really like suitable for a very different crowd, isn't it? Like activism is like really suitable for like driving contributors to come like help the project. There's like that.
And because we are talking to targeting Americans for now, that's why you used superfoods as terminology. But if you use superfoods to Middle Eastern audience, they will look at you like, huh, what the hell are you talking to me about?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. And then if you like talk about activism to like the people that were there at the events yesterday, it's like they don't care. But if you like talk to them, it's like, hey, you know, the chocolate that you're eating is actually shit, and you have like no idea. Immediately they got really pissed off. Right? Then it's like, see, why someone messing around with my food? The CTA is there.
Are you guys in active conversations with let's come back on video now. Are you
Yeah,
guys on active conversations with suppliers across the US as well? I know obviously you have the Amazon marketplace.
Oh, you mean like the distributors here in the US?
Yeah, I mean there's so many, right?
Yeah,
would
it's
be
like
who is dealing with that?
you know
Well,
what?
there's
Like,
no one dealing with that, but we all tried different.
yeah, I started like experimenting with that. Last weekend I went out to like talk to the operators of the farmers market, like was talking to the vendors. I think like that actually requires a different set of messaging. Because like the messaging for the
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
It does.
Other
It
than
does.
of messaging, we are not corporate enough to compete in that world because the reason I did talk to many contacts of mine from this agriculture import-export industries. He told me to hell, he can't compete with someone who's importing tons.
No, you cannot.
Lie and come offer local distributors a price that this
No. It's like
I
you
think
can't.
that for now we are just focusing on directly reaching the houses of Americans.
Be as like direct.
Someone I know is the owner of Sunlight Organic.
Oh, okay.
They are, I mean, he has his own personal story. Great guy. They have a massive place in Malibu, in Austin, Texas, and other different across the states. Now they are all about you know, kind of sustainable and organic. And I wonder for them it would take me no problem for them to use the cacao. I mean, I'm just thinking things like that where they already have quite a big following, and but I would suggest that you would give it them on a cheaper basis or something to test and see if we can leverage. Something like that.
About
but yeah, no, they're all about that. So that's the sort of thing I would say. And to be honest, then we go back to the whole press stuff and the social stuff. So the more I'm aware of that, it's more like creating a FOMO. People are like, we need to try this. We need to get involved with this. Okay, so these guys are approaching us. And look what noise they've had. You know, it's a FOMO that we're creating as well.
Yeah.
So not only is the press and the marketing and everything for this, for leveraging for investment and for partnerships with distributors. Yeah,
I think like really a few parties we're going after, right? People coming in to contribute to help build the project, and people that actually we can partner to actually utilize their distribution channels. That's two. And then consumers to actually like buy a product. That's three. And then maybe I'm not sure like about still haven't like really figured out how to like inject Fiat yet, because like the Swiss association is not set up, but once it's set up they can like inject Fiat by that route. So technically you're like kind of like looking at 4 different parties almost, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Lorna? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's almost like a 4-sided market, like 4-sided network effect we're kind of like going after.
100%. And conversations with distributors, I can work on that too as well. I have a lot of
because like when I was like talking to Daniel Sandberg, introduced by like another member from like the House of Balance, she's like saying, prepare a deck for the distributor, right? It's like from my perspective, I've like experienced like preparing decks for investors, but for distributors, like what do you put in, man? It's like for me, it's like I have no idea.
Look, guys, a lot of it. Okay, I mean, you can have decks coming out of your eyes and like out of your head. You know, I mean, how many decks we see? Face-to-face conversations with the right people, them understanding and believing in you. And like I say, seeing a slight FOMO. If they're looking you up, look somebody up. They look you up and they see all this stuff. They're like, okay, cool. Actually, these guys are, you know, real and legit and everything. It's all about relationships. So I would leverage that. I'm pretty good at talking to people, and and especially I have a lot of friends who have got this kind of, you know, kind of these these healthy living places where
Oh,
this
that's
would be
perfect.
most
Yeah.
suited. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
Anyway.
like right now I'm starting to observe, right? Ever since we kind of like unlocked the US border, because like it took a lot of effort to really unlock the border of the US for food to come in, and we already unlocked
Yes.
that. The Brazilian agency that we got introduced to when we were in Brazil, they're actively referring farmers to us that actually want to enter into the US market. So right now, what I'm seeing is like the supply side of like this network is already unlocked. You know, even the government is like backing us on that side. Now it's just like about like figuring out how to make sure like the distribution in the US work.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And the most important,
But,
our challenge, our dilemma is that we will need to build up like as a regular business, but we don't want to reach to a level to prioritize sales than the philosophy of the DAO, which is,
Of course.
because easily and someone now already a very big figure in this industry can easily now put his hand by just throwing a couple of hundred Ks in our agroverse in order to scale it and make it bigger, but then it will re-centralize all whatever we worked and
Yeah.
started
That's
for.
the tricky part, huh?
That's very tricky because it's we live in a world where it's easy to find money. It's not hard, but it's
Yeah.
It's like building it in such a way that it's kind of like, hey, dude, it's like maintains the essence of it being like a community project instead of being like just purely for profit. Because like when you like going down that route, then it's like the guardrail is like removed, right? And next thing you know, it's like
Yes. For example, bringing a distributor, of course, it's much better right now, but then we defy our own activism that we are eliminating third parties
But
by adding
Yeah.
another different type of
But
third party.
actually, like from my perspective, like having a distributor that's like value aligned, yeah, it's like my sense is like the distributors that Lorna knows is probably like not those like crazy like large scale like Walmart. They kind of like really oppress like the
No,
suppliers.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Sun Life, when I was out in Austin for those few months,
Yeah.
you know, Austin Sun Life's a big brand, you know, but it's not like we're not talking like, you know, we're not like a huge like Starbucks franchise. I mean, there are a few. There's one in Austin, Texas, one in Malibu, another one in California, and somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's all about the person behind it. And he had
Yeah.
a very bad story. He went through a very bad time in his life. So he's written a lot of books about meditation and healthy living and how he turned life around and that. So I feel like it would be very suited to that kind of person.
Yeah.
There's millions, there's loads of them we could approach.
Yeah.
But it's about getting that story right,
Yeah.
writing out the strategy for each of those markets we just said,
Yeah.
who you're targeting, demographics, and then kind of go from there. And then if obviously you guys are just targeting the States, which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. For now.
Yeah, it does. So yeah.
Yeah. It's like rather than go after the whole world, like the supply chain is just going to be a nightmare. Let's like get
Better
the
to start
US
small. Yeah.
US like
strategy
homogeneous
right.
like first. Yeah.
Yes.
And then like
I also sorry to interrupt, Gary. I also have a lot, as you know, Gary. As you know, I'm slightly I'm very much into detox retreats and things like this. And I have friends who run some big ones, well-known ones, and globally. So some in the US, some in Turkey, some in one in Qatar, one in the UAE, and they love cacao, right? Because it fits into the thought. So that's also somewhere to use it as well. And they have a lot of influencers staying, and that's what you need. You're giving it to the influencers; they're promoting it as well. That's kind of also I would add in that KOL element as well. The right ones. Where there's no financial exchange, you're not paying them to do it. But again, it's another way of growing and word of mouth and everything like that. So I can think of a lot of opportunities for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's like from my perspective, it's like it's not even financial incentive, right? Just like grant them voting rights in like how this like project is managed when like they contribute to it, like every other like DAO member. Basically like all the interests are like aligned and like the core value is like still like kept intact, you know. Yeah. And if you can do that, I think like it's great, you know. Then like for me personally, I feel that I kind of did my job, right? It's like, all right, guys.
Well, I would love thank you guys for taking the time. I would love to help you guys.
Okay.
I proposed to Gary to do it on a just for a couple of months and start to see. Really, I mean, I really do think the foundation needs to be honed in on, and then go from there. But Gary is a friend of mine, so as well, and aside from what I think you're doing is great, I obviously want the success for you guys. So yeah,
Thank you, Lorna.
and Gary's
Amazing.
obviously is very easy to work with.
I hope.
Even though he has more energy than anyone I've ever met, no matter what time zone he's on or whatever time of the day, he has a lot of energy. But yeah, perfect.
And
pleasure.
Yeah, Val is like trying to build an AI to replace me right now.
That's interesting.
Like when we were like brewing chocolate yesterday, right? Like Val said, I was like, Val, I was still like trying to find time to update the ledger. It's like, Gary, why don't you build the AI? I was like, no time. It's like, why don't I build it? It's like, oh, you want to build it? I just like took the document that Derek was supposed to implement. It's like, Val, yours now. Not my problem anymore.
Yeah.
I hope he does it. I hope he does it soon.
Yeah. So it's like, if not, what happens is like next month when I go for my 3-week Zen meditation retreat across the bridge, by the time I finish and come out, I like see like so much like stuff in the WhatsApp channel that needs to be tokenized and updated on the ledger.
Exactly. If it will not be ready, I will make sure to lock the file and no one touches it until Gary comes back. We'll make sure that.
Yeah. So you poke like Val and say Val is the AI idiot, and then like what's really interesting is like from my perspective, if we can build such an engine where we have an AI like rate and score our contribution and like grant us like governance tokens, then such an engine could literally be utilized by other DAOs that try to bootstrap their own project, right, using the same approach. Then it suddenly becomes scalable. We're like literally changing the future of work over here if it becomes successful. Yeah. So
Not about creating business, making money. It's about changing how money is made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
changing like
100%.
the way we work, realigning ourselves with like self-actualization instead of just being a cog in the wheel.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, cool, nice. Okay, great. So what are the next
I will share
steps?
the link and just send me your email.
Thank
so that
you.
I have the access to it.
Okay, I'll do that
Yeah.
now.
Okay,
And,
thank you guys.
Maybe we hop on a call like in a week or 2 weeks or something if we
Yes,
advance.
okay,
something.
perfect.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
very much.
perfect. Lovely
Yeah.
to meet you both. Well, lovely to meet you and lovely to see you again, Gary.
Yes, it's great to see you again. All
Okay,
right.
guys.
Bye,
Love you.
guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.